The village of the Horned Men sits nestled between the rugged cliffs and the stormy sea. Smoke rises from the chimneys, carrying the scent of burning wood and roasting meat. The air is crisp, with snow dusting the ground and the distant sound of waves crashing against the rocks. Villagers move through the narrow paths, going about their tasks, tending to animals and repairing boats, while the hum of conversation and the clang of blacksmiths fill the air. Beyond the Isle of the Horned Men, the southern seas stretches out, a barrier to distant lands and new horizons. Life here is one of strength, community, and a connection to both the land and the sea.
Chief, Rodmar called. Do you remember the ship I spoke of? The one that sailed from the western shores towards Lionsguard months ago? The one with golden trim, shining like the sun itself? Aye, the one you could not catch. Chief Oswald's voice was heavy with the truth. That be the one. I've had word from Ulfgrim. He's kept watch on the coast near Lionsguard. A great battle took place there. Thousands of orcs came marching from the east. And how does that trouble me? The chieftain interrupted. Well, Ulfgrim said those warriors aboard the ship, they helped hold the city. Now there's but half of them left, and they're set to sail back west. This be our moment, Chief. Rodmar's eye gleamed. I've been thinking about that ship. There's more to it than gold trim. There must be great treasure in its hold to guard it so. Sigmund, my son, Chief Oswald said, turning to his eldest. You've never failed me. Take the men and lead this raid. Go now. What of me, father? Sigvid, the younger son, spoke with fire in his blood. I wish to join in this glory. Nay, Sigvid, you'll kill too many, as you always do.
I need prisoners, alive. The Sondarim grow restless. They'll turn on us if we don't fulfill our duty, soon. Sigmund, the chief's firstborn, gathered his warriors. The longboat was readied, and the men set their eyes on the horizon, prepared to face the open ocean.
Halt!
Sigmund bellowed, raising his sword to hold back the men. Well, well, if my eyes don't deceive me, this is a half-elf, guarded by elves and men, and draped in the royal colors. By the gods, you must be Prince Helenar, heir to the kingdom of the crown. Father will be pleased, indeed. After a fierce raid upon the vessel of Prince Helenar, Sigmund and his band of warriors returned, bearing their prize, the captives and a hoard of the prince's treasures gathered from his ship. Sigmund, my son, Chief Oswald said, his voice filled with pride. Once more you have proven yourself. The presence of the seer speaks to me that the Sondarim are well pleased with the captives you've brought forth. Strange sounds radiated from the seer's staff. I hear their voices. The seer spoke. The Sondarim are pleased indeed. They are glad that you've brought elves as offerings. When my eyes first beheld the elves, I knew I must bring them back, Sigmund said, his voice strong and sure. The Sondarim have a long history with them, and I could not let this chance pass. Ah, you remember the tales I spoke of when you were but a lad. The seer smiled. The sundering of the first great cycle. I am pleased you have not forgotten. And what of the half-elf? Chief Oswald asked, motioning towards the captive prince. The Sondarim care not for him. Do with him what you will. He holds no weight in their eyes. Any course of action springing to mind, O great praetor? Prince Helenar spoke with a hint of displeasure, his voice reflecting the unease of their predicament. We are stuck here, for now, replied Praetor Salathiel, his voice calm but firm. We must prioritize survival and wait this out. Patience is of utmost importance, my prince. Did you notice the seer's staff? I am quite certain it is not of ordinary gold. The prince inquired. You are correct. The crown of his staff is made from Gildrim. Only the great elven forgers can fashion such a metal. I've never seen it wrought in such a manner before. Curious indeed. The prince's brow furrowed as he spoke again. I also overheard the seer speaking of the Sondarim and a sundering of the first great cycle. Does any of it make sense to you? Salathiel nodded, a knowing look crossing his face. Yes, it is a tale as old as time itself. We have ample time at our disposal, so I shall recount it to you. Tens of thousands of years ago, before the time of the humans, our ancestors were locked in a great war with a demonic race known as the Ver-Ithil, whom shared the realm with us. It is said that the Ver-Ithil were the first to emerge during the first great cycle when the realm was but a fiery, hostile land. The story speaks of the ancient elven sorcerers of that age, their mastery over the magic of growth surpassing even the greatest wizards that live today. You see, magic is the manipulation of the fundamental forces of nature. Growth is one of these forces. These sorcerers wielded the powers to reverse the effects of growth beyond the point of existence itself, creating void magic. This very island upon which we stand was once the tip of a vast peninsula, where the scurrilous mountain range stretched far out into the sea. The Ver-Ithil held a stronghold here. The sorcerers, in their might, created voids at the foundations of the peninsula, causing the great peaks to collapse into the sea. That very moment became known as the sundering of the first great cycle. It was a major turning point for the war. Some even say the Sondarim are the twisted descendants of the Ver-Ithil, changed by the void. With such great calamity, the practice of void magic has been forbidden ever since. All knowledge of it has been lost as a result. Praetor Salathiel's voice softened as he continued, weaving more stories into the ancient past. His words, like a balm to the soul, lifted the spirits of the captives and warded off the gloom that filled the damp and dark dungeon around them. At the Serpentine Tavern, the horned men celebrate their victory, drinking and feasting after capturing Prince Helenar and his hoard of treasure. Music fills the air as Chief Oswald buys the rounds for his men. Outside the tavern, under the flickering light of the torches, a few gather. Music drifts out from the tavern, but the talk outside is of business. Rodmar turns towards the chieftain. The Sundareem have always claimed every prisoner we take. Why are they letting us keep the half-elf, chief? He is a prince, Rodmar. The Sundareem know what that means. They're thinking we can get a high ransom for him. Perhaps they're rewarding us for the elves we've delivered to them, Chief Oswald speculated. So, what's the ransom to be then? 20 chests of gold, and you, Rodmar, will deliver the ransom demand. You failed the first time with the ship, and now Sigmund had to do your work. This is your chance to make things right. Don't let them think they can haggle. The price is set. And there's another thing. You'll also deliver a ransom demand for the old elf advising the prince. 5 chests for him, I say. Sigmund raises an eyebrow, glancing at his father. Are you certain of this? The Sundareem wanted the elves, and now we ask them for more? What if this angers them? Oswald meets Sigmund's eyes with a sharp gaze. We've got 2 more elves, boy. If he was the only one, I'd not ask for more. But Yomar heard the prince call him a praetor. A praetor, Sigmund. That's 1 step from the Elven High Council. We'll get 5 chests at least. This is a dangerous gamble, father. Even if the Sundareem somehow agree to this, the mainlanders may refuse. If they decide to attack us instead, with the Crown Army and the Elven Army, we'd be in a tight spot. That is exactly how I will convince the Sundareem to let us ransom the old elf. If there is a chance the elves will attack us, they'll see it as an opportunity for revenge. There's never been a reason for the elves to come here. The Sundareem are strong, no doubt, but the elves, they defeated their ancestors. I've heard the seers speak of it. If the mainlanders don't pay, it could be the end of us. The Sundareem are stronger now. You weren't alive when the Lion Kingdom tried to take this island. Their ships are rotting at the bottom of the sea, thanks to the Sundareem and us. Together we've held this land. We've already struck fear in their hearts. The mainlanders will pay the ransom, Sigmund. Now drink and prepare for the gold to flow. As the chief and Rodmar leave, Sigvid steps forward from the shadows, his voice dripping with sarcasm. Ah, the great Sigmund. Another glorious victory for my brother, eh? Sigmund smirks. We all have our duties, Sigvid. I do the raiding, and you do the slaying. The Sundareem favors you in the pit. No one else can make a spectacle of it like you. Sigvid grins, his eyes gleaming with dark pleasure. Aye, I do enjoy it. Maybe a little too much. I overheard Father's talk of his plans for the half-elf. I would have liked to cross blades with a prince. This time's different. Father's taking great risks. It is not like him. Aye, the old man's getting greedy.
Settling in well, my prince? Chief Oswald asked, his voice laced with mockery. Oh, it's perfect. Cold, wet, and just the right amount of rotting stench. You've outdone yourself, Prince Helena replied. I'm glad it suits you. I figured a walk through the village might do you some good. Fresh air, a few honest faces, and truth be told, I'd enjoy a chat with someone new for a change. Bring the old elf along if you like, assuming he can still handle a flight of stairs. I'll manage, Praetor Sailithiel said. So, what do you think of my village? I must admit, for a den of bloodthirsty raiders who make their living off the backs of honest traders, it does have a certain quaint charm to it. We all feed on the weak in our own way, Prince. You, of all people, should know that. You were born into comfort. Where do you think your kingdom's wealth came from, if not from the hands of the desperate? I'm simply a man doing what he must. I take what I need and keep my people alive. Unlike you mainlanders, endlessly squabbling under the weight of your bloated kings, each one desperate to outshine the other while their empires rot beneath them. Are you certain it's your people you serve? From where I stand, it seems you're more concerned with keeping the Sondareme pleased. Are you content with being their loyal hound? Our bond with the Sondareme is one of respect, not servitude. They take their share of the spoils, and in return they shield us from our enemies. I've even convinced them to allow us to ransom off that old elf along with you. That seems like mutual understanding and respect to me. Ah, so there is ambition buried beneath all that feigned humility after all. I wonder how far that seed will grow, and where it will lead you. We all keep something set aside for leaner days, the chief said dismissively as they continued their walk through the village. This is the pit, the chief said, motioning towards the blood-stained arena. It's where we share the spoils of our raids with the Sondareme. All the prisoners go to them. We keep everything else. And what exactly happens here? This is where we show our strength. My men fight the captives and the Sondareme watch. They seem to enjoy watching men tear each other apart. You see that golden ring above us? That's how they watch. That's not gold, it's Gildrum. I saw the same metal on your seer's staff. You could cast a Gildrum blade into the deepest trench of the sea, yet after thousands of years it would shine as if newly forged. I find it troubling. The Sondareme wield enchantments bound to a metal only our forgers can shape. Yet, the way they've used it, it lies beyond any elven craft I've ever known. That's not my concern. My axe doesn't need enchantments to split a man in half. And the Sondareme? They just watch your blood sport and that satisfies them? The real offering comes after. Those who fall, whether by death or defeat, are taken. It's part of the pact. And what do they do with them? Well, those who don't die fighting will soon wish they had. You'll see for yourself, my prince, the chief said with a cold smile.
Strange sounds radiated from the seer's staff. "The Sundareem, I hear them," the seer said. "They are watching now." Chief Oswald nodded. "This is your chance to earn your freedom. Defeat the four who stand before you, and you may leave. But know this, those who fall, whether by blade or surrender, will be given to the Sundareem. Let the battles begin." Prince Helena narrowed his eyes. "Hard to believe you'd simply let my men walk free if they win." "You need not doubt it. I was once one of the four myself before I became chief. Now my second son, Sigvid, fights in my place. The fact that we both still draw breath should tell you all you need to know about their odds." Gunod always ends them too quickly. Knut better put on a proper show for the Sundareem. "I yield! I yield!" the captive cried in desperation. "Ha! So much for the prince's elite guards, groveling like a pig. You locked them up and starved them. What did you expect? One of my men died because of it." "That's no excuse. Hunger sharpens the senses. Besides, the Sundareem favor live offerings. He'll soon wish he died fighting." Now that's a rare sight. It's been years since one of our own fell in the pit. But no matter, he will not survive Sigvid. "Bring them both. Let the Sundareem witness a true contest," Sigvid declared. The Sundareem have made their will known. The elves are to be taken alive. You are not to kill them. "But I am death in the pit. The Sundareem know this." "Not this time." "You've slain one of the elves. I ought to toss you into the sea myself." "How was I to know the elves would have such thin legs?" Take them to the shore," Chief Oswald ordered, his voice thick with frustration. The captives, both living and dead, were tossed into the sea. Prince Helena watched in horrified silence as dark figures converged on the struggling bodies, devouring them as they drowned into the black abyss. Admiral LeBlanc, welcome aboard, King Halwyn greeted. Salutations, Your Majesty. King Leo extends his regards and expresses his gratitude for Prince Helenar's aid in defending Lion's Guard. He wishes to repay this favor. I have been assigned to aid in your campaign, Admiral LeBlanc responded. I'm thankful for any assistance in retrieving my son. These barbarians had the gall to abduct him, march to my very doorstep, and demand a ransom. Suffice it to say, the ones they sent are now rotting in the dungeons as we speak. As well they should. King Leo hopes you won't take offense at being sent only myself. Prince Leandro and Marshal Ayler are already en route to the Red Horn to assess the Orcish incursion. No. I understand you had to abandon your station at Black Channel Harbor, leaving it exposed. For King Leo to take such a risk on our behalf speaks volumes of his dedication to our alliance. Allow me to introduce your fellow commanders in this effort. To my left, Marshal Renard, who leads my royal guards. And to my right, Praetor Valnorin, commander of the Elven forces aiding us. A pleasure to meet you both. Praetor Valnorin, I have heard much of your accomplishments. Your presence here gives me great confidence in our endeavor. High Council Aenwyn has charged me with retrieving her son, and I will see it done. I have been informed that a fleet from Lionsguard attempted to seize the Isle of the Horned Men many years ago and failed. Any insight you can provide about that battle would benefit our campaign greatly, Admiral, Praetor Valnorin stated. Indeed, my predecessor, Admiral Jourdain, fell in that battle, along with a great number of ships. The Horned Men were formidable, but it was the sea-dwelling beasts defending the island that proved our downfall. Our handheld weapons were useless. Only the ship-mounted heavy crossbows could penetrate their scales. Even then, only with precise shots at exposed areas under the Gildrum armor they wore. It was impervious to the boats. Ultimately, our fleet was overwhelmed. These sea creatures are known as the Sondarim. We are aware of them. It is deeply concerning to learn that they possess Gildrum, and in such large quantities. I can scarcely imagine how. I am certain of it. I was there when King Erendil presented King Leo with his Gildrum armor, and witnessed its strength during the demonstrations. The way it gleamed, much like the armor you now wear, Praetor. Gildrum armor can only be pierced by a Gildrum blade. It would cut through their scales with ease. Your Majesty, I recommend that Marshal Renard and Admiral LeBlanc engage the Horned Men directly to draw their attention. Centurion Illithor, you are to enter the village and locate Prince Helenar. I will confront the Sondarim as they come to reinforce the Horned Men. I find this strategy agreeable. What is your opinion, Marshal Renard? Dividing our strength makes us vulnerable. This plan depends heavily on Centurion Illithor's success. Should he fail, we'll be locked in a prolonged battle that could come at great cost, Marshal Renard replied. This plan would avoid a prolonged incursion into enemy territory. Centurion Illithor and his troops are the elite of my command. High Council Aenwyn would not have dispatched us if she lacked faith in our capabilities. The longer my son remains in the grasp of these savages, the greater the peril to his life. His fate lies with you now, Centurion. Begin preparations at once, King Halwyn commanded.
warships on the horizon! The guard called out. I recognized the Lion Kingdom's banners, and still no word from Rodmar. I doubt they've come to pay the ransom, father. Aye, Chief Oswald sighed. They're aiming for the docks. Get the men into position now. Send it forth! Aye aye, forth it goes! With heavy crossbows thundering behind them, the soldiers press forward on their rowboats, driving towards the shore beneath a hail of iron. Fall back! Let them come ashore! We'll meet them here! Sigmund bellowed. Archers! The ships lie too far! Turn your aim to the smaller boats! Should the Sondarim not be aiding us by now? Sigvid asked, glancing towards the horizon. It's because you slew that elf. I should have cast you in the sea when I had the chance. Now, where's the seer? I know not, but they're upon us. We'll face them ourselves. Chaos engulfed the docks as the horned men mounted a desperate defense against the surging allied forces. From the depths, the Sondarim rose, launching a ferocious assault on the allied ships and tearing through the rowboats of the landing parties. Praetor Valnorin raised his voice above the chaos. Protect the king! Prepare yourselves. I see them. The Sondarim. They're aboard the ship striking at the elves. Wait. Look there. In the sky. What is that? By the gods. Chief Oswald muttered. Thalan, search those houses, Centurion Illithor commanded. You there, old man, where are they keeping the prince? I know not of whom you speak, the seer replied calmly. I'm but a humble farmer. I find that hard to believe. A mere farmer, in possession of a Gildrum staff? Were it not for the urgency of my mission, I'd have you interrogated for carrying such a relic. Centurion, a guard just exited the cave below us. The prince might be held inside. Search the cave immediately. Centurion Elithor, our finest has come at last. Patience, it seems, has rewarded us, my prince. Praetor Saelethiel said with a weary smile. Praetor, it's good to see you both alive, but we've no time for relief. We're deep behind enemy lines. Every second we stand here, they get closer. We need to move now. As the group emerged from the cave, chaos had already taken hold. The horned men clashed with the elven warriors. Amid the fray, Praetor Saelethiel's eyes locked onto an enemy archer drawing his bow. He lunged forward, placing himself between the prince and the oncoming shot. Saelethiel! Prince Helenar cried out, catching him before he could collapse. I gave your mother my word I'd protect you. Centurion, you must get him out of here. The prince must live. That's an order. He pushed himself upright, trembling but resolute. You, warrior, hand me your weapons now. I'll hold them off. Leave at once and protect the prince. Look there! Ilithor and the others are coming back. There's my son with them, King Halwyn exclaimed. Prepare to withdraw. Sound the horn. Alert the men to fall back now, Marshal Renaud commanded. Useless. They're all useless. The moment the seer vanished, the Sondarine fell into chaos. Frantic and confused, they broke from the fight and plunged back into the abyss.
So, you finally arrived, Count Basil. The delay was noted. Care to explain?
Dakath queried.
I acted on Master Barathea's command to move in shadows, not storm gates. Discretion demands time. The mages are secured, along with some fresh labor.
Count Basil replied.
It seems your discretion was lacking. The Dragon Kingdom has taken notice of our movements. But no matter. Master Barathea's plans to prevent them from joining the Alliance have succeeded. They are isolated and lack the strength to pursue us. Nor would they alert the other kingdoms. With the mages in our hands, we must hasten the construction of the conduit. The Dragon Kingdom has likely reinforced its defenses. We should divert our efforts towards acquiring additional labor from the Crown Kingdom's territories instead. Yes, the scouting has commenced. My acolytes are embedded within their lands. Then it begins.
I'd like to give a big shout out to our channel members supporting the creation of Scarillis, with a special thank you to Fennec and Brendan Bundyboy Davies, our 2 captains of the guards. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.